Hey guys, I'm out on a cruise. The Astros are winning, and unfortunately, we have two pitchers that are about to have Tommy John surgery, and a couple of other Astros are hurt. We'll talk about this on a special edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, tell me where they can find you at.
Well, they can find me at home. Unlike you, who's on a boat on a foreign country. I love it. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Look, they can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Astros411 on Facebook and on X. They can also find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram and X. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. And Eric, I've been joking that if the Astros win 3 games in a row, which they're on to their third game, they've won 2 in a row, right, that you have to somehow stay on the ship or stay gone the rest of the season. Because can you imagine, Eric, if they won the rest of their games in the regular season and you could, like, we could even get you throw out the first pitch next year? Do you like that proposition, or do you need to get your sea legs? Do you need to get your land legs back and get out of the sea at some point?
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I just need a sponsor. I would need some people to go ahead and do a GoFundMe to go ahead and do that. I do have the summer, but I just think that it's pretty sad that we're rooting for a 3-game winning streak at this point. And so hopefully we get that today with the Cardinals. The Astros have won 2 straight, like you said. So, but guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen. Become an everydayer. Somebody listens to a podcast every day, and we appreciate everybody. Go subscribe to us on YouTube and make us part of your daily routine. But I get what you're saying, Brett. But I would love. I think I've heard that it's actually cheaper to live on a cruise ship than it is to have a mortgage and everything. But at this point, I'm not where I can't work. So unless I want to work on the cruise ship, I'm going to have to come back to work at some point. But I do have all summer if I want to get some sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. Look, but, a serious question here, Eric. I know that you had a chance because, the beauty of the internet and the beauty of apps is you're able to listen to words of Dana Brown, and Dana Brown actually just gave some words in the dugout at Minute Maid Park. I haven't gotten to listen to those, but I'm pretty sure it's some of the same that was shared on the Sean Salisbury show with Sean and Brian. Is that I was surprised. Now, I'm not surprised because I know his role as GM is to make sure everybody knows that he's not freaking out. But Dana Brown today clearly said, we've got the front 2, and we've got a couple other guys that can come in. We've got a pitching staff that can compete in the World Series. I mean,
right.
So are we in a little bit of the GM has to be rosy and has to be positive because that's what you want to see in the media? Or do you think that they really believe that? Because when you have 2 pitchers back-to-back days, Urquidy and I think Javier hurts the most. Urquidy has done a great job, but Javier was that guy that we were leaning on. What do you think? Right. Do you think Dana Brown's being just too optimistic, or do you think this is more media speak and they are actually worried about their situation going forward?
Well, as a GM, you're kind of the face of the franchise, I guess the front office. So he does have to offer a more Astro colored glasses, so to speak. So everything is definitely half full, not half empty. So he definitely has to be on the more positive side. So he is looking at it as a GM and saying, yes, we think that we can compete with what we got. But at the same time, he said today, he's always looking to upgrade the rotation, whether that's from inside the organization, outside the organization. But they have known for at least 2 weeks, I would guarantee, that Cristian Javier and Jose Urquidy were probably having Tommy John. And so I think that with Urquidy, this is his second Tommy John. They were getting a second opinion. And so that's why there was a delay, that they knew exactly what was going on here. So I think that what they're doing is they're just trying to stall time and see exactly what's going on. Urquidy's getting his, I believe, today, and then Javier's getting his done tomorrow. So that means that's 12 to 14 months without these two guys. And the thing that would make me a little bit worried if I was Framber Valdez is Tommy with Lance McCullers. You offer him this big extension, and he keeps on getting hurt. Then you finally get Cristian Javier to do this extension, and then he gets hurt. And so it's like, I think this is going to be put a bad taste in Jim Crane's mouth for doing extensions with pitchers, because this is what he's been afraid of, is once you extend these pitchers, that's when the Tommy John goes. But Spencer Urquidy, Hunter Brown, they have stepped up. I know Urquidy only lasted 3 innings yesterday. That was not his fault. He got hit by the ball, and he had to leave the game. So,
yeah, exactly. And so let's look at the positive side of this. I'm sitting here searching for. We've been having Michael Schwab update us, and I was at first I was like, "Where's he getting these videos?" And I realized they're from Lance McCullers' Instagram. I should have known. But Lance McCullers has been throwing a lot more bullpens. I know Garcia was sent to the Florida Complex League to start working on his stuff. Garcia, I think Garcia is a little bit longer road than McCullers, from what I understand. I've talked to Mike Stanton, and Mike said he would be surprised if he came back at the All-Star break. He thinks it's still going to be a little bit after, just because he is coming off Tommy John, where Lance McCullers is not. But Lance McCullers, as far as we know, is on schedule. He's been ramping up more and more. He's been throwing a lot in the bullpen at Minute Maid for workout sessions. And so we'll have to see. But like you said, Eric, Urquidy, if he can get his walks down, I think he is a key to this. Hunter Brown has been pitching well lately. Hunter Brown had another quality start that was erased by a bad offensive output the other day. But Hunter Brown has gotten back in line. Framber Valdez, he is a World Series grade pitcher. We've seen him clinch a World Series here in Houston. Justin Verlander, I mean, he did give up 3 home runs, a couple of more solo shots. It wasn't that detrimental because the team came back and won. Yainer Diaz said he just stuck with the game plan, and he felt like what Verlander was throwing, was solid. My concern for the guys that are on the mound right now, starting wise, is the workload for Ronel Blanco. It's not what do I think he'll give me. It's what do I think he'll give me or give this team at the end of this season, when he hits that almost a threshold that most guys hit, almost a wall in their first, not his rookie campaign, but I guess technically it's his first full year, Urquidy workload. But, the Astros did sign a veteran relief pitcher who they drafted in 2016 in Nick Hernandez. Nick Hernandez, U of H 2016 draft pick. He was traded to the Padres in 2022 for cash consideration. They brought him back. He's been in AAA all year, but he is now on. They've got to make a roster move because he's been announced. He's actually on the roster sheet. Parker Mashinsky, yeah. Parker was sent down, but they're going to have to make a 40-man roster to make room for Nick Martinez. So I wonder who the odd man out is going to be. But that right there, I think, is a solid signing. But I'm worried about workload for the younger arms. We were gonna count on JP France. We haven't heard anything about JP France. So, there's a lot to be kind of concerned about, Eric, but there's also with this, Eric, it's almost like when these two guys, when all this news came out, these last 2 games, it seems like the team's been playing with more urgency. They've been having fun. Yainer Diaz, 2 home runs 2 days in a row. I mean, a home run 2 days in a row. To Jeremy Pena hitting sliders yesterday and scoring runs. Dude, on the 2, okay, so they were 0 for 2 for their first opportunities with runners in scoring position, but they scored both runners on third. And do you know that the average launch angle was like minus 36 degrees. They basically scored on 2 ground outs. They were 0 for 2, but they still scored the runs. So it's not how you score, it's if you can score, and they haven't been able to do that, and they've been doing that more the last couple of games.
Yeah, there are some other injury concerns that we'll talk about in a second, notably what's going on with Kyle Tucker, what's going on with Alex Bregman, because they, like Dana Brown said, that they want to get to 500. You cannot get to 500 without these two guys. And I know Alex Bregman has not been the guy this year, but recently he has. We'll talk about that in a second.
No, there you go. All right, guys, this episode is brought to you by GameTime. GameTime is an amazing app. Download the GameTime app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. If you do check out GameTime, let me tell you, it is the place to go for all your ticket needs. You can go to the game the day of. You can get tickets the day of, and you can get those tickets downloaded right to your phone. So go to GameTime. If you find tickets in the same section, the same row for less on a different on a different page, they will credit you 110% the difference for the cost of that ticket. That will put money back into your account. I'm telling you, GameTime is an amazing app. I love it. I don't use any other app, whether I'm going to a football, baseball, basketball, whether I'm going out on the town, a night, comedy, whatever it is, GameTime is there. So download the GameTime app, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Guys, thank you for making us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. Go and make us your first listen on YouTube. Go ahead and check us out. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Go and subscribe to us. Just hit that big red button down there, and you're going to make two teachers real happy people. And I know that the Astros are our favorite team. We live and die for the Houston Astros, and it's been one of those seasons that we don't really care for. There's been some good times. There's been some bad times. But we're going to be always here for you. And I know Alex Bregman has kind of have one of those seasons where it hasn't been totally great. But if you're looking at what he's done recently, his power has been back. He's been hitting a lot of home runs. And it was unfortunate that he got hit by the pitch yesterday. And also Kyle Tucker fouled the ball off his shin yesterday. Both, they took x-rays. Both of them, x-rays were negative. I think Kyle Tucker, it was a bone bruise, a contusion, but he's not expected to come back to game action until this weekend, hopefully, and Alex Bregman's out of the lineup as well for today's game. But is there any bit of concern for you for these two guys?
No, I think this is just standard operating procedure for the club. I actually replayed and if you go to my X account, I actually replayed the clip of where Kyle Tucker fouled that ball off his front shin, and he dropped the F-bomb, and it was bigger than day. You could hear it through the whole stadium. And someone goes, no, he didn't say the F word. He said, we suck. I was like, no, he didn't say that. But Alex Bregman's was not as concerning. See, Kyle Tucker kind of brushed himself off. He was like, okay. And as he started to walk back to the batter's box, he was like, I can't do it. Like he said it hurt too much. So, I mean, think about it. You're hitting that ball 110 miles an hour off the bat, and it goes off your shin. Oh,
right.
Like I get chills thinking about hitting my shin on the coffee table or, you know what I'm saying, in the gym on a rack or something like that. A freaking 100-mile-an-hour ball to the shin. Again, Dana Brown said worst case scenario, he wouldn't be back until the end of it. But he goes, it depends on how Kyle feels. He goes, if Kyle comes in and on Friday we're there and he's ready to go, he'll play. So, dude, he's been killing it. The AL is full of studs, man. And I do like Dana's words in this. Dana said, all you got to do is win the division. If you win the division, you're in the playoffs. And some people say, well, but you have to win the division. Okay, you're only 2.5 or a game and a half behind the Rangers. You are 7.5 out of the Mariners. But Eric, this is a weak division. This is a weak division, and you can win this division because the Mariners have not been consistent. Now, if we were in the AL East, you can forget it. If we were in the AL Central, forget it. But we are in the AL West. We are basically the AFC South of Major League Baseball. We are the benefactors of having, for the most part, a very crappily inconsistent division. So I think you get to that division lead, you take the lead and you keep it. Anything can happen in the postseason. Anything.
It just goes back to that Mariners series, and all those games are winnable. You had a chance to pull within a half game of them at least, if not take a half game lead over them, and you crap the bed in that series. And now it's all the way up to 7.5 games. That's not insurmountable. You can take care of it, but it just sucks that you had a chance to really make a statement and the Astros just couldn't do it. But I know the Mariners have good pitching staff. Their offense wasn't good. They didn't outslug the Astros. They outpitched the Astros, and teams that can outpitch the Astros are going to win. And that's what we've seen. That's why the Astros have beaten the Cardinals, because the Cardinals pitching staff is not the exact thing like they used to be. The Cardinals pitching, they used to live and die by pitching, but now it's not quite that. And so they got to take care of business without two of their star pitchers, star hitters today. And I'm using Bregman in quotations because he has been doing better recently.
Exactly. No, I mean, yeah, Bregman has heated up, but Eric, this team, you know what's funny is our hitting is we are climbing the chart. So, I don't know if you saw this. Okay, I looked up runners in scoring position ranks by teams. Okay, this is the AL West, and I'm going to give you Seattle, Texas, Oakland, and Anaheim. I'm going to give you their places. I just want you to tell me which one is the Houston Astros. One team is 25th, 18th, 14th, and 17th, and 19th. Which one of those is the Houston Astros rank with runners in scoring position?
17th.
No, they're actually 19th. Guess who is 14th? Guess who leads with runners in scoring position average wise? The Oakland A's. Very good. Guess who is second?
The Angels.
The Angels. Very good. Guess who is third?
The Mariners.
Nope, the Rangers. Okay. Guess who is last?
The Mariners.
The Mariners. And right under the Mariners, 19th is the Houston Astros. I just thought it was really interesting. With runners in scoring position, the Oakland A's lead in batting average. They don't
have the pitching though.
Yeah. You're right. They don't have the pitching, but in the pitching, we have been the best in the American League dating back to April 22nd with a 2.39 ERA. It's the lowest in the AL since that date. Okay. Josh Hader, 2-0 is 6 saves. Actually got another save, 0.68 ERA over the last 11 games. A streak that dates back to May 9th. And since May 22nd, the Astros pitchers have combined for a 2.73 ERA over 12 games with 113 strikeouts while posting an opponent batting average of 189. So this is why I'm saying this. All these things help us understand that this club is very capable of winning. And in June, Eric, I said we were going to win 4 games this week. The 4th game will be today if they sweep the Cardinals. And if they get the games on Friday and Saturday, you can actually win 5 games if you sweep the Cardinals. I'm giving the Astros between 17 and 20 wins at the end of this season, Eric. There is only one team this month that the Astros go against that is a formidable opponent. All the rest of the opponents are very, very beatable teams.
Well, the Astros just got to get the heading. I mean, they get the job done. It's just they struggle getting clutch hits, and they've got to have because the bullpen. Like Ryan Presley blew the game the other day, and that it was a frustrating part with yesterday's game where you had to eat up most of the bullpen today. I mean, yesterday because Urquidy had to leave the game early. So That's why Mujinski was sent down, because they needed a fresh arm. So I think that's why Nick Martinez is coming up. Or
Yeah.
is it Hernandez or Martinez?
No, Nick Hernandez, Seth Martinez. So yeah.
Nick's, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Nick.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, I think I actually called him Nick Martinez like yesterday, but Nick Hernandez. But again, the bullpen has been the best in the American League, Eric. And look, Montero, the dude is throwing and pitching out of his mind. Abreu pitched more than 3 outs yesterday, did a great job. I think Presley came in last night. Everybody freaked out. He did the job. These guys, if they can all get right, I have a question. Is Presley auditioning for a spot with the Orioles because they don't have a closer? Or is Presley auditioning to stay on this team? Because I think that if we have any trade options with any other team out there, the Orioles have a lot to offer, and they're going to need a closer, especially if they're in this race. So I don't necessarily say we're sellers, but I think we're buyers. And if we're buyers, we need to offer up something that another team wants. I just don't know who we'd get in return.
I think June will decide if the Astros are buyers or sellers, and
Exactly.
I think we'll see how they play, and if they play the opponents like you say, then there's probably a good chance that they're going to make up some ground and possibly be buyers. But the Astros don't necessarily have the talent pool to make the trades that would help, the impact trades that would help. So I think you're going to see James Click. You're going to see Dana Brown. Sorry, I'm going back in time, but you're going to see Dana Brown have to be creative and go out there. But I don't expect to see a Justin Verlander type impact trade.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, in our last segment, we'll just kind of wrap this up, and I want to talk to you about who you think you see continuing to trend upwards when it comes to the Houston Astros offense. So let's go ahead and move on to that next segment. Hey, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Thank you for tuning in. Locked On Astros. PrizePicks is an amazing site. If you use a promo code Locked On MLB, you'll get your first deposit match of up to $100. Just download the app today with PrizePicks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks got you covered each week. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with 5 million active members. Get in the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community today. The finals mean more on PrizePicks with star players. You can also create lineups. That's right. In baseball only lineups with 2 to 6 players on more or less, you can win all kinds of money. Check it out today. You got so many options. It's not just 1, 2, or 3 things. There is a lot. And also it's available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. It even offers injury assurance so that your lineups will stay even if one of your players gets injured. For baseball games, you can get a player registers 2 plate appearances or less. They will not count that against you. So right now, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use the promo code LockedOnMLB. Download the app for your first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Go and make us your go and subscribe to us on YouTube, and it's just right there, that little button down there, that red button, and just go and make us your first listen and become an everydayer. Somebody listens to the podcast every day. So, Brett, I know that you wanted to address a few more things before ending the show. So
yeah, definitely. Up? No, yeah. Arlie actually brings this up because this is a good question. I actually posed the question. Sometimes I pose questions before I even really think about them because I like hearing other people's thoughts on them. And Arlie says, I wonder why they brought up Cabbage instead of Loperfido. I think Loperfido is probably getting more first base work. They want him to keep getting regular at bats. Cabbage is a good left-handed bat off the bench. He also offers versatility in the pinch hitting role. He's a left-handed bat, number 1. Number 2, he can go out there as a first baseman. He can go out there as an outfielder as well. And so he's been hitting really well lately. So he's been hitting a lot of home runs, and I know it's AAA, but Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Joey Loperfido, Jake Myers. I mean, these guys start hitting the cover off the ball in the big club notices. So that's why they brought him up instead of that. And And yeah, they do need, and Garrett, that's right, they do need Loperfido playing every day, because I really think, Eric, the projection on Loperfido is that he's going to become an everyday player with this team, whether Kyle Tucker is here or not. But I need to ask you this, Yainer Diaz, you may not have seen it because I know you're on the boat, so I know you catch highlights. But if you haven't seen it, go back and watch Yainer's home run from Monday night for when they were in the Space City uniforms. He hit that home run. Jose Altuve came running out of the dugout, jumping, leaping, hugging him. I mean, that entire team celebrated Yainer, and Jose Altuve led the charge. And these last two games, I think, is the key. You watch how they played. Bregman is hitting hot. Kyle Tucker, he'll be back. Pena, dude, is sitting on sliders and hitting them for RBI. And like Jake Myers goes into the 4-hole, the cleanup spot, and he produces runs. So that's why I think this team trending upward, and that's why I have a lot of hope in this team for June. Like you said, I think June is the stamp that the Astros put on Major League Baseball and clearly puts us into the playoff picture. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just think that it all depends on what's going on with Loperfido. It was always about getting playing time. If he wasn't going to be getting playing time, he was going to get sent down. And I think Cabbage is just up here. Greg Kessinger wasn't going to get play much, especially depending on how long Alex Bregman's out. You may have to make a decision, but I'm pretty sure he's just day to day, so I don't think it's a bigger decision. But I think that they're looking for more pop and more of a left-handed presence off the thing. But I just think the Astros are where they are, and they're going to have to play some better baseball, and they're going to have to just do it without two of their guys they're going to count on in the rotation. And the lineup really is not the issue. There may be lineup construction issues at times. I still don't know if Kyle Tucker is still the best person to hit second. I still think he needs to be hitting cleanup, and maybe Jeremy Pena hitting second. I think that will lead to more runs. But I think overall the lineup just needs to do better with runners in scoring position. And I think the team as a whole needs to just play better with that. But with Yainer Diaz, it's about making the adjustments, and you're seeing that now. And the league adjusted to him. They threw him the outside pitches. He couldn't get it. They threw him breaking pitches. But now he's making those adjustments, and he's figuring it out. And that's what most young pitchers do. It just takes a little bit. I mean, not pitchers, but hitters. They've got to make the adjustment, because the league is not going to just let you dominate like he did last year. They're going to try to figure you out, and you have to, once they figure you out, you got to make that adjustment.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. And Garrett, thank you for reminding me of this. Altuve hit his 600th multi-hit game yesterday. He got 600. Yeah. He's behind Bagwell. Bagwell's like 635 or 680 something. I mean, Bagwell, I didn't realize, I forgot how many multi-hit games. But Eric, this team, I think, is trending in the right direction. I know Jose Altuve although he had multiple, hits and he did that, man, he's swinging way out of the zone. He may be pressing just a tad, but he's still doing enough. Eric, dude, thanks for gracing our presence. Someone in the chat, I couldn't find the comment. Someone's like, Eric, come back. Brett's getting the big head. Hey. No, I'm not. I'm trying to be humble. I'm having fun, but it'll be nice to have someone else to help me garner the show. But Eric, I'm so glad that you got to get out, get in the water, whatever you've been doing, sipping on all the non-alcoholic drinks you can get, I'm pretty sure, right? But seriously, man, we will see Eric. Eric will be back on the show for sure next Sunday night, I believe. And so, Eric, dude, thanks for hanging out with us. This is great. I mean, who else goes on a cruise and still does a podcast? None other than Locked On Astros. Eric, why don't you leave us out with some kind words and some well wishes from the cruise, sir?
All right, well, guys, I think the Astros can go out there and sweep the Cardinals today. They just need to get some good pitching from Ronel Blanco, and Alvarez has been the hot hand recently, so he needs to go out there and have a home run at least in this game, and I think the Astros can do that. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and make sure you subscribe to us, make us your first listen, and go and watch us on your Amazon Fire TV stick as well. Just go and search the free channel app and search Locked On Astros, and you can see us there on your big screen. So we'll go, Brett, we'll go and see you later tonight after the game, and I will see you on Sunday. And go Astros.
Go Astros. Thanks, Eric. Have fun, and don't feed the sharks.
Got it.
All right.
What about the Dolphins?
Okay, you can feed the Dolphins. Feed them.